I don't know what devil possessed me in order for me to do this, but you guys have been asking for Chainsaw Man content and the manga has been pretty gas so far. So today I thought, why not talk about every single devil in Chainsaw Man? And let me just say, it took forever to find every single devil in Chainsaw Man and the order in which they appeared. So today we're going to be really briefly explaining every single character. We're going to go more in depth into the important ones. So today we are talking about something that took forever, I'm not going to lie. Also, I'm an idiot for even wanting to do this. Manga spoilers are ahead. And before we do get into it, because I'm the actual king of yapping and I managed to take like a 3-minute video to a 45-minute video, I'm going to predict that I can do this in 24 minutes, 20 seconds. Let's begin. First of all, what is a devil? As per the Chainsaw Man wiki, they're a race of supernatural entities appearing throughout the world. They are creatures that feed upon humanity's fears. Yap, yap, yap. As per Luca, they are big scary fellas that get scarier depending on how scary they are to people who are scared of them. So basically they feed on your fears, man. If the concept of something exists, chances are a devil exists, because for some reason people are scared of fucking everything. Now there are a couple types of devil. First of all, a regular devil is just a regular devil. A fiend has a couple of different interesting factors. It possesses a corpse of a human, becoming weaker than the devil counterpart of itself, and it can be killed through fatal damage. And finally, a hybrid, as we know, like the protagonist, it can retain its human consciousness and appearance. It can transform into a main devil kind of version. What I mean by that, for Denji for instance, is when he pulls his cord, he becomes into his Chainsaw Man form and he does not retain his human appearance. But he is still not the full version of the devil. Now importantly, hybrids are also immortal, they regen through blood, and their official name has actually been eaten. We don't know anything about them, but we know about their existence and we just call them hybrids. Okay, semantics out of the way. I feel like I spoke fast and I didn't yap that much, but I'm yapping right now, I just can't help myself. Let's start with Denji, the Chainsaw Hybrid. He is the protagonist of the series, an overall horn dog. There's a lot to say about the kid, but ultimately there's already a video on the channel, so go check it out. He also fused with Pochita / the real Chainsaw Man to become his hybrid form. So put a pin in that. He's kind of reminiscent of Wolverine when it comes to pain and regen. Chainsaws from his arms, chainsaws from his head, sometimes from his legs. That shit hurts. That shit makes him lose blood. So just like Wolverine, he needs a healing factor, and that he does have, but he also needs to ingest blood. Famously, his main goal is to have sex, and he's come close many times. Probably much closer than you and I combined. However, he's also nutted. More on that later. Next up, we've got the Tomato Devil. This is what we call exposition. It's the first devil that we're actually introduced to. No one is actually afraid of tomatoes, unless you're my friends, for some reason who don't want to ever eat pizzas with tomato sauce. Tomato Devil, however, can also regen from its own seeds. It sucks. It dies. It's there just to show us what a devil is. Zombie Devil, actually a pretty powerful devil, and only the third one that we're ever introduced to. It actually has the ability to turn people into zombies. Unlike a lot of traditional zombie media, it can also possess corpses, and it is capable of speech, thus rendering it powerful. When a devil can speak, you can assume that it's pretty strong. However, it is ugly and it tortured Denji. These are two things that I cannot forgive it for. Particularly the former. Next up, we've got the Muscle Devil. Man, I should have worn a different shirt. Anyway, anime-onlys have never heard of this motherfucker, but I'm above you because I actually read manga and I'm literate. It has the ability to control any muscles it touches, so if it touched me, the world would be doomed. If it touched Bradley Martin, it would lose to Logan Paul, and then subsequently Logan Paul would scam people. He would make a whole issue out of it, and then his 8-year-old fans would fucking go out of the woodworks and defend him. This video is becoming something else already. Next up, we've got a fan favorite character, Power, the Blood Fiend. Thankfully, we already know what a fiend is, but Power was the introduction to fiends, and it works with public safety and Denji. It needs to be said, she's not particularly smart, but we still love her. She's a great character, maybe the best character in Season 1. She controls blood, she's able to make blood weapons, she stores blood for future use, and she heals other people. Incredibly potent ally. Huge spoilers, she is killed by Makima, but she lives on in Denji by giving him her blood, and she also drinks Pochita's blood to turn into her full blood power form, which just makes all of her attacks stronger. And honestly, to show how cool she is, when she is in her full form, she resists Makima's control. Put a pin in that, we're talking about that later. And she likes cats, and she is surprisingly never shipped with Denji. I appreciate this. Thank you, community. I like the kind of friendly vibe that they have. That's all they should be. Anime fans try not to ship Object A with Object B challenge. Level impossible. Next up, we've got the Sea Cucumber Devil. It gets one shot. It fucking sucks. Next up, we've got the Bat Devil, otherwise known as the Fugly Devil in my opinion. It can speak. It has its own almost completely brain-dead thoughts. It's fucking ugly, something I truly cannot forgive it for, and it blows. Its literal ability is to blow the house down, like the big bad wolf. It can also fly. Denji fucking ends up killing it, and it appears in part 2 while retaining a different but also still ugly appearance. So honestly, Bat Devil, 0 out of 10, I hate you. But hope is not lost, my fellow humans, because the Leech Devil is the fugly lover. It is the lover / partner / situationship to the Bat Devil. It is also ugly. Leeches don't look like this. What are these nipples? Fujimoto, what are you doing? It appears very shortly after Denji kills its fucking lover, and then it uses these sprawling tentacles to attack. I don't think leeches actually have these, but again, we're gonna give Fujimoto the pass, and it has a very sharp tongue that it uses to attack. I also have a sharp tongue, but in a very different way. Cool. I'm leaving that in the video, I don't care. We're talking about the Fox Devil next. It's spammed by devil hunters. It likes humans, that's why. You make a contract with it, boom, it helps you out. It uses its mouth or paw to attack, but really just the mouth. Can you remember what this scene is from, honestly, in the manga, that it uses its paw? Fuck no. The one downside to it is that while it does want to help humans, it is a very picky eater and will not eat anything. It does have the Rinnegan, and it does not want to appear, literally, this is part of its lore, it does not want to appear in front of ugly people. So rip Bat Devil, if you were a human, you could not do it. Next up we've got the Pig Devil, and this time I'm not talking about your mother, it was one shot. Next up we've got the Eternity Devil. I love stuff like this, super cool idea when it comes to devils. It creates a whole new dimension, much like the Mario 64 Stairway. If you haven't played that game, you don't get the reference, but basically it makes a pocket dimension that is continuous. It is an endless cycle, and while you're in this infinite loop, in this infinite cycle, time is stopped, so you can only save yourself. You should not count on anyone outside coming to help you. It has a physical form which tears you apart, unless it's in part 2, in which case it just looks at you funny. This is probably because it ate a piece of the Gun Devil and it became stronger in part 1, and in part 2, I don't know, it had fish, that's it. Ultimately, however, for as cool as it was defeated by Denji's ability to go burr, so rip you. Next up we've got the Cursed Devil, a devil that appears a couple of times throughout the series but doesn't really accomplish much. It's a contracted devil that does damage to a victim that is stabbed by a nail. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Nails hurt when they stab you anyway. It can also make addendums to contracts by sacrificing something. For instance, Aki's lifespan was sacrificed in order to get more power from the Cursed Devil. Unlike its name suggests though, it's a very jolly devil because it does like Santa Claus as its favorite fictional character, and it does not kill Katana Man. Or anyone. So, hell. Next up we've got the Ghost Devil, classic anime devil, a contracted devil used by our favorite eye patch, Himeno. It gives you an invisible, long-range, intangible arm, so basically you can jerk off in secret if you really want to. It usually doesn't fully manifest, but it can given a large enough price, like your entire body and lifespan. It copies literally every anime character ever, and it uses a bunch of hands to fight. Shout out Hashirama, shout out Netero, shout out, again, any anime character ever. But the interesting thing about it is that it can't see. It can only sense things based on fear. So if it was fighting me, I'm chilling. This thing would get washed. Ultimately, pretty cool in theory, pretty ass in practice. I like the design, I like the ideas, doesn't do a whole lot. Katana Man, the Katana Hybrid. Boy is he a character. He enters his devil form by removing a hand. I always thought that was funny for some reason, like, why? I do want to say, this is a character that we could make a short video on because he is pretty funny, but ultimately, to keep it super brief, he hates Denji because he killed his grandfather. He's actually King Gambit in disguise. He uses Kowtow Cleave as his... Kowtow? I think it's Kowtow. Kowtow Cleave as his main move, and he gets nuts kicked in repeatedly. But the fun doesn't stop there for Katana Man, because then he joins public safety a couple of random times and even works with Denji. He wants to stick Denji up Denji's own ass, literally, and he owns a brothel. But it burned down. And last but not least, indirectly he's responsible for Denji getting some. Rip Condom Girl. You will be missed. Next up we've got the Snake Devil, Rip Ghost Devil. It eats devils. It throws devils up. It heals devils and removes their contracts. And it uses a fingernail per summoning. That sounds like some cartel shit. Ultimately though, it does not like snitches. So ultimately, if you have a contract with the Snake Devil and you get caught, bang. I guess that makes sense actually. Snake is like snitch. Huh. Good job, Fujimoto. The Future Devil, a character that was really cool when it was first introduced. It's a contracted devil that really enjoys strange motorboating. That's how you use its power and use its contract. You just do this. Clip it. But ultimately, its contract payment depends on what it saw, and it's kind of a sadist, so if it saw you die and it's interested in your death/person, it doesn't actually require a lot from you. Based Future Devil, I guess. Next up, we've got another character that people like a lot, Beam the Shark Fiend. He can swim through walls and the ground like that One Piece character. I can't remember his name, but he's always pissed me the fuck off. Then again, who hasn't? I'm doing a pretty good job on not yapping fucking awfully. But now I'm doing it again. Anyway, it's always Shark Week. He really likes Chainsaw Man. He gets mounted by Chainsaw Man. He's scared of bombs, specifically Reze, and he is scared of the dark. Ultimately ends up dying against the Darkness Devil. But he's really cool, helps Chainsaw Man out a lot, and I like his personality. He's kind of just an idiot. But someone that I like even more is Golgali, the Violence Fiend. For no reason other than I like violence. No, that's not good. Anyway, he's such a baller that he needs to be sedated to be controlled by this Plague Doctor mask. If he takes the mask off, he looks like any random strong character with the 4 eyes. This is what he looks like. Can someone explain to me why? I honestly don't have a lot of good examples. I have Sukuna. I have 4 arms from Ben 10. Why do big muscly characters always have 4 eyes? Have you noticed this? Regardless, tangent aside, he's actually quite polite. What a gentleman. Whenever he speaks, he does it in a proper way, and he's the only fiend that came close to even damaging the Darkness Devil. Spoiler alert, the Darkness Devil is strong as fuck, but the most impressive thing Galgali can do is randomly vomit limbs. I don't know why. Violence is disgusting. Next up, we've got the Angel Devil. It turns human lifespan into weapons. It's honestly a really interesting devil. I just don't like it for some reason. Maybe because it has to actually touch you in order to use its power. And while I didn't really like this devil in its introduction in the anime, I realized it's really base because it hates working so much that it's willing to die. Until it's not, and I went back to disliking it. Next up, we've got Princey, the Spider Devil. Why does it have a name? Who knows, but people love it. It can also swim through walls. I guess that's kind of interesting. Not really sure what that says about spiders. It does not, in fact, have spider legs. In fact, those look like knees. Makima abuses her because she's actually quite powerful, and she can open her body and summon devils to hell. I didn't want to bring this up, but as the arbiter of everything good in the world, this either confirms that women or spiders are the gateway to hell. Take your pick, Fujimoto. What side do you stand on? And while it is the last devil on this list that was introduced in the anime, it also dies. Rip Princey. Next up, we've got the Typhoon Devil. It has the ability to use Tornado Kirby's ability to spin its body, communicate through water, which is honestly pretty normal because water is a good sound transferring medium. It can cause rain, I guess. It fucks with Reize, which is really cool, but who doesn't fuck with Reize? Ultimately though, it does not fuck with Asa. It killed her parents. L move. Asa. Alright, here we go. Reize, the bomb hybrid, everyone's best girl. Guess what? She uses bomb abilities. Surprise, surprise. And I don't just mean boom boom. They're pretty cool, I guess. She can hop through air using explosions, although Rock Lee can do that just by taking off his weights. Unfortunately though, she cannot explode well when wet. And there's a joke to be made here, but I'm not gonna stoop to those levels. She was fighting me. She's also a Soviet girl, a Soviet spy. Remember, Chainsaw Man takes place in an alternate universe 1997, and she manipulates Denji into thinking she likes him. She ends up actually liking him, but then she dies, but then she comes back, and then she's never introduced again. Next up, we've got the Mold Devil. It's never actually shown in the manga, so this is my artistic rendition of what it might look like. Green, red, and purple mold. It grows in the bodies of people, which is pretty nasty and deadly in real life. I would imagine it's actually pretty strong. Too bad Reize is the person it's used on. Next up, we've got the Skin Devil, another artistic rendition. I left it completely blank so that you can interpret it in your own skin tone. But basically what it does is that it gives whoever has a contract with it a fake face. Okay, pretty cool. And next up, we've got the Doll Devil. This is not what the Doll Devil looks like. This is what the Doll Devil looks like after stealing Tolka's body. Pretty simple power set the Doll Devil has, but pretty big narrative implications. It turns anyone it touches into dolls, much like Sasori from Naruto. The dolls then play ultimate tag, so any doll that is created from its initial touch can also create other dolls. Unfortunately though, devils, fiends, and hybrids are actually unaffected by this ability because they don't like fun. And do you call this ultimate tag when I'm it and I tag you and now we're both it and we have to get everyone? Is that ultimate tag or what? That's what I called it as a kid, but you know, that was fucking years and years and years ago. And then it eats a piece of the Darkness Devil and it becomes way, way stronger. Next up, we've got the Stone Devil. It's a contracted devil whose power seems pretty ass. I'm sorry, Kishibe. I mean, at the end of the day, who's scared of rocks? Maybe if you've seen that one movie where the dude had to like saw off his arm, but no. Gives you the ability to make an alchemy circle and then blow on someone to get the power that Medusa had just by looking at someone, so Stone Devil, you ain't Greek like that. Next up, we've got the Octopus Devil. It's Yoshida's contracted devil, which is immediate negative aura points because I hate Yoshida. Fucking annoying character. I know some of you like him. Don't give a shit. Summons a tentacle. Very nice. Very cool. Can also make ink. Wow. Octopi. Hell Devil is next. Holy shit. This devil must be so powerful, everyone says in unison. First of all, it needs a high body count to be summoned. And no, again, I'm not talking about your mother. But it is really cool the way it is summoned. For instance, look at this panel. Do you see how this finger is going over the 3 children's heads while it's also going outside the scope of the frame of the box? Fujimoto is really cool when he does stuff like this, and I think he's super creative when he's using devil powers. It also has 6 fingers when it's summoning that entire hand to bring that department store to hell. Ultimately though, it tries to kill Makima and fails, and it's one-tapped by Chainsaw Man. So again, it's an example of kinda ass, but cool in theory. But someone that's cool in theory and cool in practice is the Darkness Devil. Dudes, dudettes, brothers, sisters, I fucking love this devil. First of all, it's a primal fear, thus it's unkillable by human means. I don't really know what that means. Can a devil kill it? What the fuck could a human do to this shit other than shit its pants? Something I've always thought that is really cool about it is that when it appears, so do dead astronauts bisected. I think it's maybe because it suggests the inability of humans to conquer the dark. Fujimoto's good at stuff like this too. It basically ends up 1v9ing everyone that was in the International Assassins arc, and it removes people's limbs and arms, further making the darkness scary, because we need to touch around when we can't see. Super cool devil. So while it is super cool, you cannot escape my criticism. You do not look like Darkness. Explain, you're wearing a black cape. Buddy, you're wearing a cape. And you have a slew of powers that have nothing to fucking do with Darkness. Why is force manipulation, force field, Darkness power? Explain. Yes, I know you were waiting for this. Guang Xi, the bow hybrid. She is the first devil hunter, or so she says, is Chinese, and is completely beloved by the community. When she pulls an arrow out of her eye patch, though, she becomes a Seinen Sonic the Hedgehog OC. Just like Katana Man, this is another character that's been in the series enough to make a short video about, but briefly, people really like her, and ultimately it's because she dog walks literally anyone she comes across. Especially Kishibe, who she continuously rejects because she's a lesbian and has a harem. Are you jealous? And we're gonna talk more about her in this video, but ultimately she's a super cool character, she's always badass on stream, and she makes Chainsaw Man even more feared than he already is. Because when asked who's stronger, her or Chainsaw Man, she says, even in a weakened state, Chainsaw Man is far more fearsome than I could ever be. And now we get to talk about someone from her harem, the Cosmos Fiend. Cosmo represents the fear of being hit by unlimited void, but then again, so does Sukuna, so say what you will about that. Her favorite holiday is probably Christmas, even though all she says is Halloween, and she has the ability to transport a victim into her mind palace, and then it's literally just infinite void. Information overload. That ability is fucking busted. That ability really just makes you go catatonic. It's like binge watching the Luca Levy YouTube channel. Her body was retrieved by public safety, and now Guang Xi wants to get her fiend harem back, and is searching for her. Alright, this is a really big one, the Gun Devil. It kills a bunch of people. Next we got the Punishment Devil. I'm just kidding. The Gun Devil. It kills a lot of people. It shoots basically unblockable bullets at blazing fast speed based on certain conditions, and these conditions are basically whatever the fuck the universe wants at a certain time, like this one. The ability to fire a bullet through the head of every child from ages 0 to 12. The ability to fire a bullet through the head of every adult male within approximately 1,000 meters. Buddy, the ability to fire a bullet through anyone sitting on the shitter right now. I mean, I'd probably die to that. It's a really fucking strong devil, so these whack conditions must be placed upon it. I get it. It's faster than a speeding bullet, so whenever it moves, it removes little parts of itself, and these parts of itself are reminiscent of Suki's fingers, because whichever devil eats them becomes way stronger. Unfortunately for Mr. Gun himself, he does die to Makima, and he takes Aki's body. That was a brutal, brutal chapter to read. Very cool devil, very cool story implications. Alright, we're back to the Punishment Devil. We don't actually know much about it. It's used alongside other devils by Makima to defeat the Gun Devil, and that's basically it. From a meta perspective though, a lot of people quite enjoyed the Punishment Devil, if you know what I'm saying. Next up we've got Makima, the Hot Devil. She makes people infatuated by her, and she basically has every country in the world wrapped around her little finger. This infatuation is so strong that she controls anyone she believes is below her. Thus, if I had this ability, I would be literally omnipotent. It's fucking insane. It's fucking insane, isn't that right? Poster of myself, mosaic of myself. Her control is nasty powerful though, because she can use other people's powers, she can use animals, dead things, anything that she infatuated, she can control. Importantly though, she can also bang for some reason, and also bang and kill power. But there's more to say about her, because she likes dogs, she died a bunch of times, mostly to Chainsaw Man, she gets literally eaten by Chainsaw Man and then respawns, and she is actually the Control Devil. Incredible reveal, Fujimoto, awesome to read in real time. And then when she did respawn, she respawned in this little Chinese kid called Nayuta. She probably has the exact same powers as Makima, but she actually cares for Denji. It would seem as though some of her personality stayed from Makima as well, because she also likes dogs, but she doesn't use her power to control them. She's extremely protective of Denji, suspicious of Asa, and at the time of this recording, she is missing. Nayuta, we need you to be okay. Next, we've got the Whip Hybrid. It uses whips. Next, we've got the Flamethrower Hybrid. It uses flamethrowers. Next up, we've got the Spear Hybrid and the Longsword Hybrid. You get the point. And yes, there's a little more to say about these people because they're all active in the Chainsaw Man Church arc in part 2. However, they also still get no-diff by Guang Xi. Classic. I really wonder how we're doing on time right now because we only just got the Pochita, who is Chainsaw Man itself. The true scariest devil, as devils are also afraid of Chainsaw Man, the hero of hell. It literally has the ability to erase devils from existence and memory by eating them. And Yoru thinks that this can be reversed. Yoru is the War Devil. It ate World War II Devil. It ate Nuclear Bomb Devil. It ate Nazi Devil. Dude, Chainsaw Man, truly the hero of hell. Wowie. Its design is pretty cool. I mean, it has a Greninja scarf, but instead of its tongue, it's just its intestines, I guess. And then it uses chains, 5 chainsaws, it blitzes, it survives in space, it's got sick design, man. Chainsaw Man's really got it all. These 2 panels, some of the hardest in the fucking manga. Hold on, there's a third hard-ass panel. It fought against also the 4 Horsemen, but we don't know much about this yet, but this is going to be critical in the future. Chainsaw Man, Fucking awesome design, fucking awesome character. Please appear more often. Next up, we've got Bucky, the chicken devil. You're probably afraid of chickens, aren't you? It's a class pet. It became loved by the students. Asa tripped and killed it. And ultimately, it led to Asa becoming the War Fiend. But we've mentioned Asa and Yoru enough, so we can finally talk about the War Fiend / Devil. It grants the ability to turn anything it owns into a weapon. However, this ability gets stronger the more she cares for an object. And I think Asa's ability is really cool. I think Asa's character is super cool. In fact, we should make a video about Asa and Yoru. What do you guys think? The War Devil has said multiple times that it's currently in a weakened state post Chainsaw Man battle, like Pochita Chainsaw Man battle, but we have yet to see how strong her full power is. She wants to kill Chainsaw Man. However, she inadvertently ends up pleasuring him. And when I say inadvertently, I mean completely advertently. She sticks his hands in his pants. And she's not the smartest, but we love her. Very reminiscent to Power. Yoru, Asa, nice job. Next up, we've got this motherfucker, the Justice Devil. It makes contracts with high school students. Not very based, Mr. Justice. Just kidding, that's not what it did at all. It just has this weird form that has nothing to do with justice but attacks people. All it did in the series was eat, vomit, and die. Ta-ta, ugly. But the Fire Devil. The Fire Devil is the real one that makes contracts with high school kids. Not very based, Mr. Fire. We'll talk about his power in a sec, but it's actually the one that uses the class president's body / gives the class president the ability to use his body to kill Asa and make it the War Fiend, and it is a pawn of famines. The best thing it's ever really done is made a whole bunch of contracts through polyamory, getting married to a bunch of fucking people through a huge wedding ceremony, and it grants the ability to change anyone into whatever form they wish to change into. What I like about this though is that the forms earlier on in part 2 were way more whack than the forms currently in part 2, and I think that's because it maybe gets stronger the more contracts it has. Spreads like fire theory. In fact, I should say that I know that it gets stronger the more contracts it has. It's just that the theory is the spreading like fire thing. Anyway, let's move on. The Cockroach Devil. Cockroaches are nasty, but not something to be scared of. It fights Denji, it accidentally assists in the killing of Fugly Devil 2. Probably the best thing any devil's ever done, and then it dies. Alright, Fami, the Famine Devil, one of the 4 horsemen. It has powers very similar to the Control Devil. Anyone who's starving, she can enslave. This includes, but is not limited to, everyone. Honestly, a really powerful ability, especially during cut season right before summer. And then she can teleport wherever someone is actually actively hungry, but ultimately the most important thing about her is that she wants to use her sister War to stop the prophecy of Nostradamus. I don't know why I said it like that. Holy European. Which will likely be the final boss of the Chainsaw Man series. Oh my fucking god, I'm spiraling. Nostradamus. No. Alright, next up we've got the Falling Devil. She's a chef. She can control gravity, both in the immediate vicinity and far away. Wow, really cool. I don't know why more devils don't have this ability, but she hates people who have trauma. She's stronger against people who have trauma, and guess what? She likes instilling trauma into people as well. It just makes her stronger. Why don't more devils do this? But the biggest, the piece de resistance of the Falling Devil, has a Megazord beam. Explain why? You ask? No, I can't. Next up, we've got the Guillotine Devil. It's a pigeon. I don't know why. The Guillotine Devil is also under the control of Famine, but it doesn't actually listen. It has its own individual thoughts, such as it makes like a pigeon and dips when faced with danger. Thanks, Quan Chi. It could probably just sense Quan Chi in the vicinity. That's why it turned into this little piece of shit. And it was probably way stronger in the 1700s because who the fuck is scared of guillotines nowadays? And last but not least, the Nail Fiend. We made it to the home stretch. It likes children, but not in a weird way. Like Katana Man has his own quirks, the Nail Fiend also has his. Ironically, it fights with a hammer. I don't see a whole lot of nails other than protruding from its fucking brain, which is also huge, I'm now realizing. But no amount of big brain is gonna stop you from the fact that everyone loses to Quan Chi. Classic. And last but not least, it has quite the flamboyant fighting style. That's kinda cringe. In conclusion, what can we say about each individual devil? Just kidding. There are a lot of devils, and I wouldn't be scared of any of them. If you enjoyed this video, please consider liking and subscribing. Holy fuck, which devil did I talk most about? You gotta let me know. Also, let me know down below in the comments who's your favorite devil, who did I do dirty, who did I praise way too hard? Let me know. Chainsaw Man is really fun and I love talking about other series as well. So if you have any suggestions for characters, series, games, things to do outside, reviews, let me know. Leave your suggestions below. How did I do on time? Am I a fucking genius? Probably. I love you. You look incredibly sexy. Goodbye.